This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, I hope you are able to see my screens now, Pratap. Sorry, uh, Abhi. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm able to see.
Okay. Okay. So in yesterday's session, we have seen how to configure organizational units, right?
Yes, sir.
Jobs,
Yes.
positions. Yeah. Did we finish tasks also yesterday? So in human resources, we have org management, we have expert mode. Yeah, expert mode. And did we discuss about jobs, positions, work centers, as well as task catalog yesterday? Did we finish task catalog?
No, no, sir, we didn't.
Okay. Did we finish positions?
Oh, yes, sir. For positions also.
We have finished. Okay. So double click on position. Let me just quickly do a
Yes, sir.
search here. And then what is the example that we were seeing?
VAS INC.
VAS INC. Okay.
It's VAS, sir. It's VAS.
Yeah.
VAS.
So here I am able to see the positions. That means that we are done with the positions configuration. Yeah.
Right, right.
Configuration of
Yes, sir.
positions. And then work centers.
Work
Work
centers.
centers. Now, we are done with the configuration of work center as well. So we have created the production work center, right? Production
Right,
work
right.
center. Now navigate back and let us check the tasks. Double click on
Yes, sir.
task catalog, double click on task catalog, and then let us check if we have done anything specific to, BAS task catalog or something here. I don't see anything like
Right.
that.
Yes.
Can you place the mic little far away from your mouth? Little away.
Oh, yes. But it's okay.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So task catalog. I think we were done till work center only. I don't see any tasks pertaining to BAS INC. So
Right.
let us go ahead and create the task catalog and tasks. Task catalog as well as tasks. So tasks are nothing but the activities that have to be performed by a particular position. Yeah, that is one thing. Or task can be the activities that have to be performed in a particular organization unit, any one of these. Okay,
Right.
so if you want to see what tasks are, they are the general, works that are to be executed, or they're the functions that are to be executed by positions. Yeah, positions. Now, if you look at this welding stuff, if you look at this welding task catalog, so you see there are varieties of weldings here that are given here. That means these are the varieties of tasks that are to be performed by the welders. By the welders. Arc welding, shield welding, soldering, and TIG welding, and all this stuff. So this is a catalog. This is a catalog. Then you have transport. If you open up transport, you have car, crane, dredge, and then all this stuff. Forklift and truck. So these are different tasks that are to be performed by the drivers or the transport, guys. And then like this, you have varieties of task catalogs here that are that can be seen. And apart from this task catalog, there are also individual tasks that you can see. That means these are all individual, and if we assign this, this is the only single task that the position has to execute. The position has to execute. Now, if you assign a catalog itself, then whatever tasks are there under that catalog, all those tasks have to be executed by the position, by the position. So this way, you can actually understand the tasks and the task catalog. Now, if you want to create a new task or catalog, click on tasks and then say create. Create. So here you get to see the place where we can set up the individual tasks, or you can name the catalog also. Now let us say, uh, VASTC, yeah, VASITC or VASITC also, whatever it is. Okay, but make sure you use some meaningful names. Yeah,
Okay.
VASINC task catalog, task catalog. Yeah, so I'm creating the catalog right now. So first of all, give the name to the catalog and then say create, and after this, you choose the catalog, say create once again. Yeah, create. When you hit on create, we will get another screen where we can define the individual tasks under this catalog. So we will say VASI task 1, VASI task 2, yeah, so on and so forth. So on and so forth. And you can also give the long text here, VASINC task 1, so on and so forth. Task 3, right? So like this, you can create the catalog. Now, when you open it up, you'll be able to see the individual tasks. Now, this is all about setting up the task catalog. So once you have set up the task catalog, how can we assign this catalog to a position or an org unit, right? It is not just enough if we create it. We need to set up a relationship. We need to assign this particular task catalog to a position.
Right.
So how can we do it? So you can click on the task catalog and click on change.
Change.
Click on change. When you click on change, we'll be able to see, the screen which we are used to, like where we can actually set up the relationship within any other existing object. Now click on relationship. Click on relationship and say create. Create. Now make sure the dates, whatever you are giving here, they all are common start dates only. Yeah, common start dates. If the start dates are different, that means, let us say you have created the task on one particular date, and on the next day you are setting up a relationship. Yeah, then for the relationship, the start date will be different, and for the object, the start date will be different. So make sure you always give some common start dates. Let's see if we give 1/1/1900, if the system accepts or not. Yeah. Now, as we discussed yesterday, SAP HR is a date-driven concept. Yeah, it's a date-driven concept, and then whatever configurations we do exists through the start date and end date. Yeah, of the validity interval.
Okay.
Now, let us say I want to assign this to a position. I want to assign this task catalog to a position. So hit on F4. Yeah, hit on F4. Say VAS. Enter. Now choose specific info type should exist. Choose that one. Double click on it, and then double click on object. Yeah, and then you will be able to see both the positions that we have created. So let us say executive position. So executive production.
Position.
Executive production. Click on the drop down.
Employment.
Say possible rows. Hit on enter. Now you observe this issue, this error, and say what it is all about.
Start date corrected to the minimum data.
Why?
Uh, because maybe
What
it
is
does not,
hmm,
exist up to that date. I think.
exactly? The start
Uh,
date which I have specified here was 1/1/1900, right?
yes, yes, sir.
Now, before setting up the while setting up the relationship info type right now, I have set up to 1/1/1900. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
and
Yes,
then
sir.
this task catalog start date itself is current date or the 4/3/2020. That is the start date.
Yes,
So what it is saying is it is adjusting. Yeah, it is adjusting the start date to current date because this particular task catalog is created today only. How can we set up a
right,
relationship with some other object from 1/1/1900? It is not possible.
right,
Yeah,
right,
it is
right.
not possible. So that's the reason it is saying that okay, the start date has been corrected. So
Corrected.
this is all about the validity intervals. If we don't give common start dates and end dates, then sometimes the system will correct on its own, and sometimes it is going to throw an error message. Throw an error message. So this is how we assign the task catalog
Backlog.
to position. To position. So like this, you can actually assign the
Task.
task catalogs to some other objects. Some other objects. Now, when you're trying to navigate completely back, it says that do you want to generate the index? You can just say yes. And you can see all these tasks and the task and task catalog, whatever we have created, you'll be able to see it actually.
Okay.
This is it. Oh, it's on right now.
Here it is, the VS ITC.
You're able to see it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the sixth one from last fifth one.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So this is how you can set up the tasks and task catalogs and assign them to an existing, you know, objects, existing objects. Now let me walk you through the PPT. There are a couple of points. Okay, I think we have discussed all this stuff, right? Power management and all this
Yes,
in
sir.
yesterday's
Yes.
session. Now, okay. So did we discuss about this object and relationship also?
Object to relation. Yes, sir.
Okay. Info type. I think
Info
we
type.
did not discuss about
We-
info type, right?
No, sir, we did.
Okay, all right. Now, info type. Info type stands for information types. Yeah, info type stands for information type. You determine the characteristics of organizational units, jobs, positions, work center, and tasks using info types. We are going to determine the characteristics. Yeah, characteristics. The info types are used to group related data fields together. Info types are used to group related data fields together. Now let us see what are these info types. What are these info types? When you double click on organizational unit, yeah, when you double click on organizational unit, and then let's search the org units that we have set up. Now these are the org units. Now whatever you are seeing here in this list, yeah, in this list,
Okay.
these are all called as info types. These are all called as info types.
Info type.
Now object is one info type. Object is one info type. And this particular info type defines certain characteristics of this particular organizational unit. So what are those characteristics, or what is that it is going to define? It is actually defining the organizational unit itself. We are going to define the validity interval start date and end date, and we are also going to define the object abbreviation and the long text and long text. And these are all, related data fields. Related data fields which we are seeing in one particular screen. Yeah, in one screen. Then we have relationship. Relationship. Now relationships define with how many other objects, this particular organization unit has been linked up with. Yeah, has been linked up with. So
Right.
if you click on relationship, and if you click on the overview here, if you click on the overview, then we'll be able to see with how many other objects, yeah, with how many other objects relationship has been set up with this particular organizational unit. Now, if you look at it, while setting up the org structure, we said that VAS INC Atlanta reports to
Atlanta.
VAS INC. Yeah, reports to VAS INC. And VAS INC Dallas reports to VAS INC. That is the relationship that we have set up. Now, when you try to observe this, the reverse relationship, will be seen here. Now, when you click on choose, now observe here. VAS INC is line supervisor of VAS INC Atlanta. That means this is the reverse relationship. Okay, this is the
Okay.
reverse relationship, and the system automatically creates the reverse relationship record. Yeah, reverse relationship record. Now navigate back and click on the second one. Click on choose. Then look here, VAS INC is line supervisor of VAS INC Dallas. This is also the reverse relationship that the system has set up automatically, implicitly. Yeah.
Okay.
So whenever we say that VAS INC Atlanta reports to VAS INC, then the reverse relationship will be set up by the system automatically. That is the reason why we are able to see this record. That is, VAS INC is line supervisor of VAS INC Dallas. Now, if you navigate a step back and further back, double click on Atlanta or Dallas, whichever it is, then we'll be able to see the information or the info types pertaining to Atlanta. Now, when you click on the overview, choose relationships and click on the overview, we'll be able to see all the info type records, that are set up by us, the relationships that are set up by us. So the first one is that of VAS INC, then we are seeing finance, and then production, and the production, right? So by setting up these relationships, actually we have set up the org structure. We have set up the org structure. Now, if you click on VAS INC finance, and if you click on choose, yeah, VAS INC Atlanta is line supervisor of VAS INC finance. So this is also the reverse relationship that the system has set up. Yeah, system has set up. And which is the relationship that we have set up? The first one. If we choose
Correct.
VAS INC Atlanta reports to VAS INC. So this is the relationship that we have set up, and the reverse relationship is set up by the system automatically. Yeah, system automatically. So this is another point that you need to understand, that whenever we set up A to B relationship, yeah, then the B2A relationship will be automatically created by the system. So that is what we have observed just now. That is what we have observed. So this is another point. And then we see there are a whole lot of other info types in this particular list. For example, we have something called description. We have something called description. So click on description and say create. This is another info type. This is another info type, and this description groups certain related data fields together. For example, if you want to save or if you want to create some description to this particular organizational unit, you can create a description. You can save a particular description. For example, let's say general text or something. General text, for instance. Yeah, that means we want to save some general information about this organism. That's all. Now you can click on this drop down here. You can click on this drop down and say choose. It is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or ABCD, something like that. And then first point you can maintain saying that VAS INC Atlanta, yeah, has production unit. Something like this. You can just give some general text, yeah, and save it. And save it. Now, please observe here that whenever we create an info type record, only then we will be able to see this tick mark. We will be able to see this tick mark. That means whenever we have created an a record of this particular info type, only then we'll be able to see a tick mark. That means an info type record exists. An info type record exists. For other info types, we haven't created any record, so nothing is seen. Nothing is seen. Now we have the next info type called as account assignment features. Now, as a part of your practice, what you can do is you can click on each and every info type and you try to see what are the fields that are present in that particular info type. So you click on create. Click on create. Now we are seeing certain fields like company code, business area, personal area, personal sub area, and controlling area. Controlling area. So out of these all 5 fields, company code is an component that is configured by FICO consultants, the finance consultants. Business area is also configured by finance consultants. Controlling area is also configured by the finance consultants. Personal area is configured by HR consultants, and personal sub area is also configured by HR consultants. So personal area and sub area are the components that we discuss, yeah, in personal administration. When we go to personal administration, we discuss about personal area and sub area. But as of now, none of these have been set up. So we cannot capture this info type record as of now. We cannot link this particular org unit, or we cannot assign this particular org unit with any of the other components because they are yet to be configured with respect to the example what we are seeing right now. Yeah, what we are seeing right now. So as of now, we'll have to leave it just like that. So like this, we have varieties of info types. For example, we have work schedule, cost planning, standard profiles, PD profiles, cost distribution. So we will be able to maintain these info types only when we have created all those respective components in those submodules. Only after configuring we'll be able to assign them to this particular org unit. So right now we'll not be able to assign. Now maybe you can capture address. Maybe you can capture address right now because it is something which is really generic, and you can actually assign it right now. And for whichever fields you are seeing a checkbox with a tick mark, it means that it's a mandatory field. It's a mandatory field.
Hello.
Hello, Abhi,
Sir. Yeah.
got logged off.
Yeah, you got logged up.
Okay, so get on to human resources. We have org management, expert mode, double click on arguments. Double click on arguments. Now, we were discussing about the info types, right? We were discussing about the info types. So, we will be able to maintain all these info types only when we would have done the configurations in those respective submodules. For example, cost plan. Yeah, cost plan. This is a separate submodule. If we have done any configurations pertaining to this particular cost planning in that particular submodule, only then we'll be able to assign that particular components to this argument, to this argument. Now we have something called wage elements. Yeah, wage elements here. If we have configured wage elements in cost planning submodule, then we can assign it here. We can assign it here. Now navigate back. Let us finish. I think we were doing capturing addresses. So click on address, say create. Now, wherever we see a field with a checkbox and a tick mark, yeah, it means it's a mandatory field, and without giving information in that field, we'll not be able to save this info type. Will not be able to save this info type. The system will give a hard error saying that fill in all the required entry fields. So the city is Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta. In the country, you can choose from the drop down. Yeah, choose from the drop down and hit on enter. Hit on enter. Now, though we did not give information of the rest of the fields because they were not mandatory fields, the system has created an input type record. Yeah, created an input type record. Same is the case with with the other input types. Whichever fields are mandatory in that particular input type, we have to capture that information for sure. Yeah, and from this list of input types, whichever are mandatory, we can maintain those input types again. And then even a customer, uh, or the user, they don't have to maintain all these info types. Only those info types that are really relevant for their configurations, yeah, for their customizations, they have to maintain only those info types, not all of this, not all of this. Now navigate back, double click on position, double click on position, and search term. Now executive production, for instance. Now here we will see a few info types that are specific to positions only. Now there is something called as employee group and subgroup. Yeah, employee group and subgroup. This particular info type is specific to position only. Now when you click on create info type, yeah, create info type, you will be able to see that we have to capture two fields here. One is employee group, yeah, and the other one is employee subgroup. Employee subgroup. Now, employee groups and subgroups are the components that we are going to create, yeah, in personal administration submodule again. Yeah, personal administration submodule. So, using this employee group and subgroup, we are going to define whether an employee is a permanent employee or a contractor, whether the employee is a salaried employee or an hourly paid worker. Yeah, whether an employee is a apprentice or a trainee. Yeah, so we are going to configure all these things when we get into personal administration submodule. But right now we'll not be able to capture this. But this is for your information that we have such info type which we can create or which we can maintain for positions. For positions. So like this, there are a whole lot of other info types also. Yeah, you can just run through this. And if you
Okay.
are really curious enough, you can click on that info type and then you can click on create. And then you'll be able to see, yeah, you'll be able to see what are the fields that are present in that particular info type.
Okay.
But the mandatory info types that we need to set up, that we need to create are object and then relationship. These are the two mandatory info types which we have to maintain for sure. And rest of the
Yes.
info types are not mandatory, they are optional.
Okay.
They are optional.
Okay.
Because object is mandatory because if you want to create something, we have to create an object for it first of all, isn't it? Because
Okay.
object org management is based on object oriented design. It's based on object oriented design, and we have to create an object for each and every component that we want to create. So object is mandatory, and then if you want to set up a relationship with any other objects, you have to set up relationship info type. Even that is also mandatory. So both these are mandatory, and the rest of the info types are not so mandatory. You have to maintain those info types only based on the client's business process. Yeah,
Okay.
client's business process. So this is all about info types. This is all about info types. Now, the next concept is plan version. But even before going into the plan version, let us discuss quickly about the other methods of creating organizational structure. Now, for example, you have simple maintenance here. You have something called a simple maintenance, yeah, and display. Yeah, we have seen this yesterday though. No, we don't have time. Now click on display change. Click on display change. Now let us say Atlanta. Click on Atlanta and then create. Now what happens here is, just see this, it is so easy. Yeah, this method is so easy. If you want to create 10 org units under Atlanta, you can just create them here, just like that.
Okay.
For
Okay.
example, this is another method of creating org structure. Yeah. Now org
Okay.
unit 1, org unit 2, org unit 3, so on and so forth. Yeah. OU1, OU2, and OU3. Save. Save.
Okay.
That's it. You see, those org units
Yes.
here. So like this,
Yes.
you can build huge organizational structures within almost, no time and with less effort also. With less effort. Same is the case with Dallas. Same is the case with any of these org units here. Yeah, you can
Okay.
simply say create and you can set up. Now let's say OU21, OU22, so on and so forth. OU21, OU22, save.
So,
And these org units will be created. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
oh,
So within a
okay.
matter of no time, almost you can create huge organizational structures in this method. In this method. Okay. Now click on staff assignments, and there's another thing that I want to show you, that there is an option called as structural graphics. You click on this root organization unit, and you click on
So that is
structural
structure
structural graphics.
graphics. Structural
Yeah,
graphics.
structural graphics. This is the icon that you see here. Structural
Okay.
graphics. Click on that and say run. You'll be able to see the entire org structure, in this fashion. In
Which
this
we
fashion,
created.
in the form of a chart. We just created all this. OU1, OU2, OU3, and then OU2122 we have just created, right? So we
Yes,
are
sir.
able to see it here. We are able to see it here. So this is another method of seeing the organization structure using structural graphics. Now click on staff assignments. Click on staff assignments, and we'll be able to see the positions that we have created. Yeah, positions that we have created. Now, even if you want to create positions, let us say under finance, you want to create some positions. So click on finance org unit and click on create positions. Create positions. Now let's say uh, position abbreviation is finance executive 1, okay, or VAS finance executive, VAS finance executive, and then VAS INC finance executive. VAS INC finance executive. Now, how many number of positions you want to set up? Let us say I want to set up 5 positions. Yeah, 5 positions. And you can give the validity start date of these positions. Say save. So it says position is without a job description. Just simply continue. And under this finance org unit, you'll be able to see all the 5 positions. You see all the 5 positions. So this is the easiest method of creating multiple positions in one go if it is really required. Yeah, if it is really required. Yeah. So instead of going through, the previous method, of course, the previous method is the simplest and the base method using which we can start off, learning SAP, org management. But then in this second method, it will be very, very easy for you to create multiple positions and multiple org units in one go. Yeah. In one go. So this is something we need to know. Now, the next concept is plan version. Next concept is plan version. Plan version. Plan version allows you to create several organization plans in the system. Plan version allows you to create several organization plans in the system. You can simulate and compare various scenarios using plan version. One of these plan versions represents the active organizational plan. Active organizational plan. And then the plan version current plan is set as a default. Now, what are these plan versions and where can we see this? Now, when you want to maintain org unit, when you want to maintain org unit, we have seen the plan version here. You see, in this drop down, we'll be able to see multiple plan versions. And the current plan is set as the default plan version always. Now, whether you want to maintain org unit or whether you want to maintain position or whether you want to maintain job, you'll be always able to see the current plan, in the plan version field. In the plan version field. So, where can we create new plan versions? And what is the meaning of a plan version, first of all? How can we understand the concept of a plan version? Let us see. Yeah. So, let me open a spreadsheet here. Now, let us say you have started, your own company, in the year 2000. Let's say in the year 2000. Yeah. Let's say that company has, it's in, some name of the company. It can be anything. Let's say VSINC itself or any other name. Yeah. VSINC or whatever. Okay. In the year 2000, let us say this company only has ice creams division. They only used to manufacture ice creams. Yeah,
Okay.
ice creams. Yeah, ice creams. And we have employed some 50 employees for this. Yeah, production, HR, finance, sales, everything. Yeah, 50 employees. But then after working on this for this particular manufacturing of ice creams for about 5 years, let's say in the year 2005, you said that you wanted to expand your company.
Right.
Yeah. So now you have included, yeah, you have added chocolates division also. Yeah,
Okay.
chocolates division also. And because of this, you have added another 40 employees. Yeah, 40 employees. And then in the year 2010, yeah, you have added something else, like let us say something related to ice creams, chocolates, and all this stuff. Some biscuits or some cookies or cookies. Also, you have created a new division. Let us say they have 30 employees. You have added 30 employees. So what's happening here? You are expanding your business, yeah, and
Okay.
accordingly, your organizational plan is changing. Yeah, your org structures are changing, your organization plans are changing, the number of positions you are increasing, you are adding the divisions or departments, yeah, you're hiring new people. So what exactly is happening is the entire organizational plan is changing. So each organizational plan, you can create one plan version. Yeah, for
Okay.
each organization plan, you can create a plan version. So in the year 2000, you have plan version
Mhm.
1, for instance.
Okay.
Yeah. In the year 2005, you have plan version 2. And in the year
Okay.
2010, you have plan version 3. You have plan version 3. So
Okay.
this is the concept of plan version. And let us see where we can create the plan versions, where we can create new plan
Okay.
versions that are required. So open up a new session, say SPRO, give a transaction code called SPRO, and then reference IMG, reference IMG. You have
Okay.
personal management, global settings in personal management,
Okay.
global settings in personal management, plan version maintenance,
Okay.
plan version maintenance. And here, execute maintain plan versions. Execute the node called maintain plan
Plan.
versions. Maintain plan versions. Now this is a table. This is a table. Yeah.
Okay.
And in this table, we are going to create new plan versions, or we are going to configure new plan versions. We are going to configure new plan
Yeah.
versions. Now click on new entries. If you want to create a new plan version, click on new entries. Click on new entries. Say VS, whatever it is, VASINC plan version, PV. Yeah, and save it. When you save it, yeah, you'll be able to see a dialog box. Yeah, you'll be able to see
Okay.
a dialog box. This is called as this particular dialog box is called as prompt for customizing request. Yeah, or we also call, and you are seeing a code here. You are
Okay.
seeing a code in red letters. This is called as a transport request. Yeah, this code is called transport
Transport.
request.
Transport.
So we will discuss about this concept of transport request in tomorrow's session. Yeah, in tomorrow's session. There is some introduction, there is some background that I need to give about this. If you want to
Okay.
understand transport request, we have to discuss about the architecture or the landscape of SAP. The landscape of SAP. So as of now, you understand that whenever you do some configurations in the IMG, this transport request is generated. Yeah, it is
Okay.
generated. And then it also shows in which table we have created this configuration. T778P, this is the name of the table. Now we'll also discuss about this table. Yeah. Now as of now you understand, you can just click on continue, and whatever plan version we have created or we have configured, we'll be able to see here. And this is grayed out. Grayed out means it is created. Now navigate one step back. Yeah, navigate one step back and go to the other screen, the easy access screen.
Okay.
Navigate one step back here as well and double click on org units, org jobs, org positions, whatever it is. And you can click on the drop down here. Yeah, we'll be
Yes,
able
sir.
to see VAS INC language. Yeah, this is
Wonderful.
what we have created just now.
Yes, sir.
And this is a new plan version that we have created now. This is a new plan version. And in this plan version, there are no configurations that are done yet. For example, if you want to say search and try to search VAS INC configurations in this, will not find here because there's a different
Right.
box. It's a
Right.
different plan version. It's a different box. Nothing is created in this. Nothing is created. Now, so in this new plan version, you can go ahead and create any new organizational plans of your choice. Yeah, of your choice. Now, when you go to current plan, when you go to the current plan version, you'll be able to see whatever we have set up. Yeah, will be able to see whatever we have set up because this is a different box, right?
Right.
This is a different box.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you go to the other screen, when you go to the other screen, now whenever we try to do configurations in this IMG, this is nothing but IMG or
Right.
implementation guide. Implementation guide. And
Right.
while we were discussing about the introduction to SAP HR, we said that in this IMG, we are going to do all the configurations pertaining to org management, personal administration, and then payroll, time management, benefits, etc. Right,
Yes.
recruitments, etc. We said that.
Everything.
And then whenever you want to actually do some configurations, you have to navigate into the internal nodes and you have to execute that nodes. Just like the way I have executed this, you have to execute this node and you will definitely find a table inside it. 95% of the times you will find a table. And in this table,
Okay.
you have to do the configurations. In this table, you have to
Okay.
do the configurations. And each table will have a table name, a unique table name. So when you click on the table view here in the top, when you click on this menu, table view, and say print, you will be able to see the table name. This is T778P. This is the name of this table. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
T778P. T778P. So each and every node is associated with a table, and each and every table will have a table name. Will have a table name. Now,
Okay.
moving forward, when we want to create personal areas or personal sub areas and all the stuff, yeah, there is a node where we can create all the personal areas and sub areas. So, open up enterprise structure, definition, human resources. Yeah, we have nodes to create personal areas, personal sub areas, employee groups, and subgroups. So, if you execute employee groups or something, yeah, employee groups, for instance, we see a table. We see a table.
Okay.
And this table will have a table name. So click on print. You will see the name of this table. T501 is the table name. So like this, whenever we are saying that we have to do configurations, we have to actually execute these nodes and we have to set up new entries in the tables. That is what is called as configuration. Yeah, that is what is called as configuration.
Okay.
Now open up a new screen, new session. Now instead of going through this navigation path in the IMG, for example, if you have to come to this maintain plan version, yeah, you have to come to personal management, global settings in personal management, then plan version maintenance, and then you have to execute this node. Only then you came to this particular table. Instead of doing this, you can navigate directly into this table. You can go directly into this table. So how can you go directly into this table? Now open a new session. We have already opened it. Go to SM30. There's a transaction code called SM30. Make a note of it. Using this transaction code, we will be able to maintain the tables directly. So give the table name, yeah, table name, and say display. When you say display, you can enter into this table directly. Yeah, you can enter into this table directly. Instead of going through the navigation path, you'll be able to maintain or view this table directly through SM30 if you know the table name.
Right.
Yeah? If you know the
Yep.
table name, if you remember the table name, you can enter into this table directly. But if you say that okay, I can't remember names and I'm you know I don't like remembering names and all the stuff, you have to at least remember the navigation path. Any one of these two is mandatory. Any one of these two is mandatory. Either remembering the navigation path or remembering the table. Remembering the table name. Next, set active plan version. Set active plan version. Execute the node set active plan version, and you will see just one entry here, floggy and all this stuff. So here in the field value abbreviation, you have a drop down. When you click on the drop down, you'll be able to see the list of plan versions that we have already set up. Yeah, that we have already set up. And look here, what is the value abbreviation that is given here? Can you tell me? Can you observe?
There's a here integration plan version.
Yeah, what is this number that is given here?
01.
What is
Right.
01?
Current plans.
That is the reason why we always see current plan here. That means
On the top.
current plan has been set up as the default plan version.
Okay.
Current plan has been set up as the default plan version. Now, when you are practicing, okay, you change this plan version and see what happens.
Okay.
It will give you a message saying that SAP entry, please do not change and all the stuff. Okay, but still you can change. This is just a training system. It's not a live system. So, but then this training system will try to behave as if it is a live system. Okay, you don't worry about it. So you can just go ahead and continue and save it and see the output for yourself. So this is all about plan versions. Yeah, plan versions. So let me stop here for today, Abhi.
Okay.
Hang on a bit.
Today.
Hang on, yeah.
Okay then.
Hang on, wait.
Yeah.